Before we begin, answer one question honestly. When was the last time you felt truly alone in a room full of people? Not lonely because no one was around. Lonely because no one understood. That silence you carry home every night. That smile you fake in every conversation. That heaviness you never explain because you know no one would really listen. Comment the word alone right now if you felt this way, even once this week. You don't need an audience to be strong. You don't need approval to be worthy. You don't need a crowd to matter. But somewhere along the way, you started believing you did. You started shrinking yourself just to be accepted. You started apologizing for existing the way you are. Today, that ends. Today, you learn what the old Stoics knew centuries ago. That the man who can stand alone, without breaking, without begging, without shrinking, becomes unstoppable. This is not a video about isolation. This is a video about becoming whole. Welcome back to Anonymous Achiever. If you're new here, this channel exists for one reason: to help men rebuild themselves using timeless Stoic wisdom, real psychology, and hard truths nobody else will tell you. Today's lesson matters because most people never learn how to be alone without falling apart. They fill silence with noise. They fill loneliness with validation. They fill emptiness with people who don't even see them. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how to walk alone with dignity, rise alone with discipline, and win alone with peace. Not because you hate people, but because you no longer need them to complete you. We'll move through 10 lessons, each one building on the last. Stay until the end, because Lesson 10 will change how you see yourself completely. Lesson 1. The people who left were never the loss. It starts with a quiet realization. The people you expected to stay didn't. The people you leaned on eventually leaned away. And for a while, that felt like abandonment. It felt like proof that something was wrong with you. But Marcus Aurelius understood something most people never grasp. He wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The pain of being left wasn't the leaving itself. It was the story you told yourself about it. Psychologically, this is called catastrophizing, turning a normal human separation into a verdict on your worth. Think about someone who once mattered deeply to you, who is gone now. Did their absence destroy you, or did you simply believe it would? Today, stop rehearsing abandonment as identity. Write down one relationship you've been mourning longer than it deserves. Because the moment you stop grieving people who left, you start meeting the version of you who stays. Lesson 2. Rejection isn't betrayal, it's misalignment. Here's a truth that stings before it heals. Most people aren't rejecting you. They simply were never capable of matching your depth. Epictetus taught that we suffer not from events, but from our judgment of events. When someone walks away, your mind labels it rejection. But Stoic philosophy asks a harder question. Was that person even aligned with your path? Psychologists call this the compatibility fallacy. We assume closeness equals correctness. It doesn't. Think of a friendship that faded naturally, no fight, no drama, just distance. That wasn't failure. That was two paths diverging quietly. Stop chasing people back into spaces they were never meant to stay in. Practice this today. Release one relationship you've been forcing to fit. Because forcing connection is not love. It's fear wearing a friendly face. And fear will never build the life you're capable of living. Lesson 3. Silence is not your enemy, it's your freedom. Loneliness has a twin nobody talks about: freedom. Seneca once wrote that being alone in a crowd is worse than being alone in solitude. Because at least solitude is honest. Most people fear silence because silence forces confrontation with thoughts they've been avoiding for years. This is why so many scroll endlessly, numbing instead of processing. Psychologically, this avoidance is called experiential avoidance, and it slowly erodes self-trust. Think of the last time you sat in silence without reaching for your phone. Uncomfortable, right? That discomfort is not danger. It's unfamiliarity. Today's practice: sit alone for 10 minutes with nothing, no phone, no distraction. Just breath and thought. It will feel strange at first. Then it will feel like coming home to yourself. Because the man who fears silence will always be owned by noise. And the man who masters silence masters himself. Lesson 4. Self-sufficiency is not coldness, it's sovereignty. You were taught that needing no one is cold. But the Stoics taught something different. Self-sufficiency is not coldness, it's sovereignty. Diogenes lived with almost nothing, yet answered to no one. Not because he hated comfort, but because he refused to be controlled by dependency. Psychologically, this is the difference between attachment and dependency. Attachment connects you to people. Dependency enslaves you to them. Think about the last decision you made, based purely on someone else's approval. Did it serve you, or did it silence you? Today, identify one area of your life where you're seeking permission you don't need. A career move, a boundary, a goal. Reclaim it. Because sovereignty isn't built by isolating from others. It's built by no longer needing their applause to move forward. The moment you stop asking permission to live, you start actually living. Lesson 5. The grief of outgrowing people you once loved. Here's what nobody prepares you for: the grief of outgrowing people. You didn't leave them. You simply grew, and they stayed still. Stoicism calls this the discipline of ascent, choosing consciously what you allow to shape you. Growth often means walking past relationships that once felt permanent. Psychologically, this triggers something called identity grief, mourning who you were, even while becoming who you're meant to be. Think of an old version of yourself, the one who tolerated less respect, less peace, less clarity. Do you miss him, or do you miss who accepted him? Today, write one sentence describing the man you're becoming. Read it daily. Because outgrowing people isn't betrayal. It's evolution. And evolution always feels lonely right before it feels like freedom. If this is hitting something deep in you right now, stay with me. Comment "still here," so I know you're absorbing this. The next 5 lessons go even deeper, and lesson 10 might be the one that changes everything for you. Lesson 6. Validation is a drug. Silence is the cure. Validation is a drug, and most men are addicted without knowing it. Every like, every compliment, every approving nod, it feels like proof you matter. But Marcus Aurelius warned against living for the opinions of others, calling it a form of slavery. Psychologically, this is called external locus of control, when your self-worth depends on outside approval rather than internal standards. Think about how your mood shifts based on how others react to you. That's not confidence. That's dependency disguised as ambition. Today, choose one decision and make it without announcing it to anyone. No posting. No seeking praise. Just quiet action. Notice how uncomfortable that silence feels. That discomfort is withdrawal from validation addiction. The moment you stop performing for approval, you start building something real, a self that doesn't collapse without applause. Lesson 7. Rejection is interpretation, not identity. Rejection isn't the wound. The meaning you assign it is. Epictetus taught that events are neutral. Our interpretations create suffering. When someone rejects you, your mind instantly writes a story. I'm not enough. I'm unlovable. I'm too much. None of that is fact. It's fear disguised as truth. Psychologists call this cognitive fusion, believing your thoughts are reality instead of interpretations. Think of a rejection you carried for years, replaying it like evidence against yourself. What if it was simply incompatibility, not inadequacy? Today, rewrite one rejection story in neutral language. Not "I wasn't good enough," but "that wasn't the right fit." Notice the emotional shift. Because the moment you stop personalizing rejection, you stop bleeding from wounds that already healed. And you finally walk forward, lighter than before. Lesson 8. Expect nothing, and you'll never be broken again. There's a specific kind of pain reserved for men who give everything and receive silence in return. Stoicism doesn't ask you to stop giving. It asks you to stop expecting reciprocity as guaranteed. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that people will disappoint you, and peace comes from expecting less, not caring less. Psychologically, this relates to unmet expectation resentment, when hope quietly turns into bitterness. Think of someone you've silently kept score with, waiting for effort that never came. That waiting is costing you peace. Today, release one expectation you've been holding onto without saying it aloud. Give without keeping score, or stop giving entirely. Both are valid. What isn't valid is resentment disguised as patience. Because the man who expects nothing is never broken by anyone. Lesson 9. Who are you when no one is watching? Solitude has a purpose most people never discover. It reveals who you actually are underneath performance. Seneca often withdrew from society, not from bitterness, but from clarity. He knew constant company blurs self-perception. Psychologically, this connects to social masking, the exhausting habit of adjusting yourself for every room you enter. Think about how differently you behave around different people. Which version is actually you? Today, spend time completely alone, doing something you genuinely enjoy, with no audience, no performance, no explanation needed. Notice how naturally you behave when no one is watching. That version, unfiltered and unapologetic, is your true self. Solitude doesn't create loneliness. It reveals authenticity. And the man who knows himself without an audience can never be manipulated by one. Lesson 10. You weren't meant to survive alone. You were meant to rise alone. Here is the truth this entire video has been building toward. You were never meant to survive alone. You were meant to become powerful alone. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, buried loved ones, faced betrayal, and still wrote that the obstacle is the way. Not despite solitude, through it. Psychologically, this is called post-traumatic growth, transformation born directly from pain, not around it. Think about every version of you that solitude has quietly built, stronger, wiser, calmer, harder to shake. That wasn't damage. That was forging. Today, thank the loneliest chapter of your life. Not because it was easy, but because it built the man reading these words right now. Because walking alone was never your punishment. It was your training. And the man who rises alone can never be broken by anyone again. Let's bring this full circle. You learned that abandonment isn't proof of unworthiness, it's redirection. You learned that silence isn't emptiness, it's clarity waiting to be heard. You learned that validation is a cage and solitude is the key. You learned that rejection is interpretation, not identity. You learned that expecting less brings more peace than demanding more from others. Most importantly, you learned that walking alone was never a punishment. It was preparation. Every lesson you absorbed today was designed for one purpose, to remind you that you were never broken by solitude. You were built by it. And from this moment forward, you don't fear being alone anymore. You respect what it created inside you. If this video reached something inside you, comment one word describing how you feel right now. Share this with someone quietly struggling with the same silence you once carried. And if this channel has helped you rebuild, consider subscribing, not for me, but for the next version of yourself still waiting to rise. You walked in feeling alone. You leave understanding you were never broken. You were becoming. Walk forward, unshaken.